Any functioning mind changes its position when presented with new facts, scientific facts, and new realities. Now, the reality is the issue of Morocco and Sahara did not start now to be entertained by President Zuma. In 2017, in a delegation I was part of that went to the African Union, where Morocco was readmitted as a member of the AU in January. Soon after that, later in the year, President Zuma had a meeting at the behest of King Mohammed VI of the Kingdom of Morocco to present where their frame of mind was as a country and how South Africa could possibly help in resolving this problem that this year has lasted for over 50 years without any practical solution. That is why in 2018, South Africa reopened its embassy in Rabat, and Morocco reopened its embassy in South Africa to be fully fledged embassies instead of being downgraded to the level in which they were. When Mkhonto was formed, President Zuma received many invitations at an international level. The last meeting we had about one of the countries which got problems, we can't at this stage, was yesterday. Members of parliament all over the world, leaders of the world, continue to seek guidance from President Zuma because they've lost confidence in the leadership of South Africa to handle complex matters of the African continent. Now, President Zuma has a responsibility to lead the debate on areas where he believes South Africa should reconsider its positions on those matters. That is why on the question of Morocco and Sahara, upon being approached by the embassy and the leadership and other countries, and having considered all issues about the unification of Africa, that we can no longer afford to balkanize our continent into small unviable countries when we are confronted with arrogant USA and the West like this. That's what informed President Zuma, saying, we have the same problems here at home, where a small group of reactionary Afrikaners want to have their own state called Cape Colony. In the same country, we have Orania that want to present itself as an alternative state. If we are not careful, this problem of a group of people who identify themselves as a tribe wanting to be a fully fledged state will come into our country. Now, MK presents itself as a legitimate voice of progressive forces in South Africa to lead the struggle to unite Africa to be one. And we felt that this burning matter that has lasted for 50 years in the continent must be a starting point to say, yes, the people of Sahara have suffered for the longest time. They wanted their own country. But the challenges we are facing as a continent cannot allow us to have many more countries than we already have. Let the comrade be given autonomy to self-govern like we have in our own country provinces. You can pass the laws relevant to your conditions, municipalities, but maintain the sovereign integrity of Morocco as a country. Now, this one of money, when you can't explain things scientifically, why people have changed their minds, and you don't have better arguments to tell them why they must not change their mind, you must start throwing those stupid insults that we are getting money that we have not received. I've been fortunate to be part of the engagement from the beginning. There is no money promised, no money given, no money requested. We have tabled here the outcomes of the many progressive engagement that President Zuma had with the leadership there to open channels for South Africa to trade with a very strategic country geographically in the continent. Now, it's not true that we have sold out the revolution. It's not possible. The country's foreign policy is directionless. And President Zuma and MK have taken a responsibility to lead in that regard. And when we lead, we expect those who can lead to attack President Zuma, attack MK, but the kind of messages we're getting in the continent tells us that we're on the right path. Specifically on this one of Sahara, those who take time to research the latest development, the position presented by MK is beginning to be supported by more than half of African states currently. Not historically, currently. Now, we'll continue to lead. By the time the comrades join us, we'll all be celebrating one and united Africa led by President Zuma. Thank you.